came here with a plan. Imagine yourself sitting in a conference room, and everyone who's in that conference room are people that who are in your life right now. This is a plan that you devised before you incarnate. You came here with a game plan. You came here with a blueprint on how you want to do this incarnation. எல்லாருக்கும் ஏகப்பட்ட ஹாபிஸ் இருக்குது. கார்டனிங், ஹார்ஸ் ரைடிங், பெயிண்டிங், ஸ்பெண்டிங் டைம் வித் தியர் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ், வாட்சிங் மூவிஸ். ஆனா எனக்கு பர்த் சார்ட் ரீடிங். That is my happy place. I started this 15 years ago because I thought I was very weird. நம்ம ஏன் இப்படி இருக்கிறோம்? So அது ஒரு புரிதல் வரதுக்காக நான் வந்து astrologyல போனேன். There are so many other methods, but I was drawn to astrology. So I've been doing this for 15 years for myself. 2022 I became a coach. By the end, which is the December of 2022, I stopped all manifestation class because I was lost. October, November, December, I was transitioning into energy reading. So when a student comes to me, I can see the potential within him, but he's asking for something so small, and I want to tell him, you are actually the building owner. நீ என்ன இது கேக்குற? But I don't have any tangible proof to show to the student that you are capable of this. It's all just, philosophy. It's all just motivation. I stopped all the manifestation classes, but I have a private Telegram group where all my students are. So அவங்களா வந்து அப்பப்ப வந்து they will message me and say, "Kelly, எனக்கு இதுல பிரச்சனை இருக்குது. Can you help me with this?" So at that time when I had stopped all the classes, students were messaging me, about 4 or 5 students, and they were asking me questions. Who am I? What am I here for? What is my purpose? I'm very lost. I'm at the crossroads. So these are questions that's beyond manifestation. Honestly, I was not in the mood to answer these so philosophical questions. So at that time, because I was myself very lost, I was looking at my birth chart. So I decided, okay, you know what, unga birth time kudunga, unga birth country date la kudunga. So then I looked at their birth chart, gave them the answers, satisfied. Next student, gave them the answers, satisfied. So I was doing this for 4 or 5 students, and only after that it dawned on me, this was the bridge that I was asking for, the tangible proof. I can show a person's birth chart and show their energies, their soul blueprint on the birth chart. This is yours. This is where you wanted to focus on. This is where, the energies you need to embody. So then I started this course called soul alignment. Now இப்போ வந்து astrology வந்து நம்ம சொன்னோம்னா வந்து சனி வந்து இந்த வீல உட்கார்ந்திருக்கு, உனக்கு கல்யாணம் ஆகாது. So all these things, predictive astrology is not something that I subscribe to, because இதெல்லாம் வச்சுக்கிட்டு ஒரு ஸ்டூடெண்ட் இதை வச்சுட்டு என்ன பண்ண போறாங்க? In the information வச்சுக்கிட்டு they are just depressed. It's not telling them anything useful. So I want to use this birth chart and see a student's energies and use it to help them reach their highest potential. This is your soul blueprint. You created this design that you wanted to implement this design in this incarnation. So today as soul astrologist, I'm going to share with you how the soul wants to evolve through all the 12 houses. Now actually வந்து ஒரு ஹவுஸ்க்கு நான் வந்து ஒரு எபிசோடே பண்ணிரலாம். Our details இருக்குது, but we don't have time for that. So this is just very 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 basic. Now when people ask you what's your sign, what's your zodiac sign, what's your horoscope அப்படி கேட்கும்போது most likely people will say, oh, I'm Scorpio, I'm Leo, I'm Pisces அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம். But actually what you're saying is, this is where my sun is at in my birth chart. Now the first house represents our ascendant, our rising sign, which means that when we were born, this was the zodiac sign that was rising. The ascendant tells us who our personality, who we are, and the moon tells us our inner self. The sun tells us where we shine. So to have a basic understanding of who am I, you need to know your sun sign, your moon sign, and your ascendant sign. So now your soul has come into this incarnation. I'm going to use a literal baby to explain how the baby evolves around the 12 houses. The baby comes into the house, a literal house, okay? Baby comes into the house, suddenly everything is centered around the baby. The baby commands attention. That is the first sign, which is Aries, leadership, boldness, courage. Then the baby evolves. It starts realizing, இது என்னோட bottle, இது என்னோட pillow, இது என்னோட blanket, இது என்னோட toys, இது என்னோட அம்மா, இது என்னோட அப்பா, ஒரு possession. This is when the baby starts to understand his relationship with the tangible world and starts to form attachment. Second house, Taurus, the house of possessions, money and self-worth. இப்போ the baby உஷாராகுது. The baby starts processing information. It realizes that நம்ம இந்த மாதிரி அழுந்தோம்னா அப்பா ஓடி வராங்க, நம்ம இந்த மாதிரி பண்ணோம்னா அம்மா பால் கொடுக்குறாங்க, நம்ம இந்த மாதிரி பண்ணோம்னா எல்லாரும் ரூல்ஸ் மாதிரி சிரிக்கிறாங்க. The baby starts adjusting its behavior according to the surroundings and the people around it. This is the third house, the house of Gemini, communication. Then the baby starts to realize, okay, அம்மா தூக்குறாங்கன்னா I'm safe, I feel okay. அப்பா தூக்குறாங்கன்னா okay, I feel good. ஆனா இவங்களே எல்லாரும் ஏன் தூக்குறாங்க எனக்கு பிடிக்கல. This is when the baby starts to express itself on where it feels safe, emotional fulfillment, emotional security. What do I need in order to feel safe? Who do I need in order to be safe? Where do I need to be in order to feel safe? The fourth house, Cancer. This is the house upon where the emotional well-being of the child, the sense of belonging is built. This is the house of home, family, roots, inner security, inner fulfillment, and relationship to your parents. Then the fifth house. Ipada the baby starts expressing itself in creative ways. The hobbies, the talents, the joy, the pure glee, the inner child. This is when the inner child is coming in, and also self-identity, because this is when the baby starts to understand who he is. What do I like? Don't I like? Where do I find the biggest fulfillment? There's a lot of joy in the fifth house, the house of Leo. Now the sixth house, schooling days time. The baby starts realizing responsibility. அப்பா வீட்டு வேலை கொடுக்குறாங்க, ரெஸ்பான்சிபிளா இருக்கணும், முடிக்கு என்ன வைக்கணும், பால் குடிக்கணும், கேரட் சாப்பிடணும். This is when the baby starts realizing responsibility, discipline, routine, health, well-being. This is the sixth house, Virgo. So seventh house, this is when the soul steps out into the outer world. It starts going out and about into society and starts realizing that, wait a second, I need to learn how to be nice to people. I need to learn how to cooperate with other people. I need to learn how to compromise with other people, because this is when the soul seeks to establish meaningful connection for other people, but it needs to know how to navigate its relationships. This is where the soul learns to balance its needs with other people. This is the house of partnership, marriage, relationships, Libra. Now eighth house, Scorpio. Now this house is the house of like spiritual awakening. This is the house of where profound transformations happen. This is where you go in to learn your psychological depths. This house is about sexuality, finance, intimacy, death, rebirth. What part of you needs to die in order to rebirth into a newer version of you? This is where a person comes in to see where they are being challenged or psychologically. This is where someone goes deep within their head and start to self-master themselves. This is the house of self-mastery. So if someone is ready to self-master themselves, the soul comes here to understand how to navigate this. It also teaches you about power, control. So this is the eighth house, Scorpio. Then the child starts going out into school, into higher learning, higher education. So this is the house where it wants to expand its horizons and learn mentally, physically, traveling as well, because it's ready to understand new cultures, new belief systems, new ideas, new philosophies. So because சின்ன வயசுல இருந்து ஓகே நான் வந்து இந்தியன், நான் ஹிந்துவிசம்ல வந்து வளர்ந்துருக்கேன், but now it starts going us realizing that, wait a second, there's other cultures, there's other races, there's other religions. I want to learn why you believe that. Why do I believe that? This is when a lot of uprooting of belief system, downloading new belief system starts coming in. And the higher learning, higher consciousness, that is recipe for spiritual growth. This is where a soul comes in to have different perspectives and learning a lot of truth about itself. This is the ninth house, Sagittarius. Okay, now the individual, the baby has grown into a full-grown adult already. Okay, it's time to go into the workforce. So the 10th house is the house of career. He starts thinking, what do I want to achieve in my life? What kind of legacy do I want to leave behind? What kind of public image do I want to have? What kind of success do I want to have? The energy of ambition, social status, leadership, responsibility, and the establishment of a lasting legacy through hard work, dedication, and going after goals. 10th house, Capricorn. You must understand, the individual has gone through the 10th house, which means career la பண்ணியாச்சு. Okay, இப்போ வந்து I'm more matured. What can I contribute back? This is the pioneers. These are the leaders. These are the people who want to game changers. These are the people who have come here to shake things up, be trendsetters. They are very innovative, very Elon Musk energy. This is also the house of friendship. This is where the soul seeks to connect with like-minded individual, and all of us work together towards a collective goal. This is the house of the bigger picture. So this is the 11th house, Aquarius. And now the soul has evolved to the 12th house, which is the last house, Pisces. This is the house of spirituality, subconscious, unconscious collective. This is when the soul is like, okay, let's prepare for the end of the incarnation. This is when the soul prepares for closure. So then it starts to look forward to doing things which is very much in tune to spirituality, connecting to the divine, and resolves karmic lessons and karmic issues. This is the house of surrender, letting go. So the 12th house, Pisces, is about introspection, healing, and preparing for the next cycle of existence. The zodiac signs tells us how we want to do something, the tone, the motivations behind it. The house tells us where we want to do it, where we want to manifest it. So that is why you are not one sign. You are all the signs. And by the way, houses and signs is only the skeleton. Now, I haven't even included the planets, which can change the meaning of a house completely. Now, let's go into Sunny. நிறைய பேர் வந்து like okay, சனி வந்து இங்க வந்து உட்கார்ந்திருக்கு, இங்க பிரச்சனையா இருக்க போது. Saturn has gotten such a bad reputation. I love Saturn. So wherever Saturn is, It's basically representing where structure needs to be done. It needs to be built. It is the father figure. I told this in the previous video. Capricorn is the father figure energy. It's the strict teacher. உனக்கு வெளியே போய் விளையாடணுமா? Okay. அதுக்கு முன்னாடி homework பண்ணிட்டியா? Homework பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் நீ போய் வெளியே விளையாடலாம். That is the energy of Saturn. It's telling you that whichever house it's in, for example, 7th house. So a lot of people don't like it when Saturn is in the 7th house, because the house of relationships. So Saturn is being there. A lot of people say, okay, அப்பனா வந்து நீ வந்து 40s ல தான் கல்யாணம் பண்ணுவேன் அப்பதான். And it can be very much true. The reason being, when Saturn is there, it basically means that there's a lot of work that you need to do on yourself first before you go out for a partner and you start, going into marriages and partnership. There's a lot of self-love, a lot of things that you need to do within yourself first. So it's just the creating a structure and foundation. You have to put foundation first within yourself before you engage in partnership and relationships. That's why it gets a little bit more delayed. So Saturn does represent setbacks and delays because it wants you to put the structure in first. And a lot of people are அந்த புரிதல் வரதுக்கே வந்து ஒரு 30s வந்துரும். So by the time that they are done building the foundation and the roots, it takes them like 40s or 50s. So if someone is telling me, okay, where do I need to be very disciplined in my life? Wherever Saturn is, that's where I'll go. And I'll figure out the energies from there. By the way, this is just one way to interpret Saturn, because remember, Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn. Capricorn is success, ambition, hard work, right? So most students who come into soul alignment course with me, who wants to learn their birth chart and want to understand all this information, they are usually coming in because they are at a crossroads, they're feeling lost, they're purposeless in their life, they are feeling very lost. That means that they're going through like a identity crisis. They don't know who they are anymore. So this is just, like I said, just one of the divination tools. There's so many things out there, going into nature, tarot card reading, energy healing, talking to your friends. There's so many other things where you can do to come back into your power. For me personally, whenever I feel like I am lost, I always come back here. This is the drawing board, and the energies shift, because it's like, let's say it's like a bot, right? So sometimes the energies will be a little bit highlighted here. It will be like a little bit more like a spotlight on here, focus here. And then the next time I look at the birth chart again, the highlight will be somewhere else. I have said this in episode 1, 2, 3, and now 4. Understand who you are. Whichever method you choose, go back to the drawing board. Find out who you are, because you're freaking powerful. Anytime you feel powerless, anytime you feel like you are lost, come back into your power. Understand who you are. You did not come here to get someone to tell you where you're going to go, what you're going to do, what you're going to accomplish in your life, who you're going to be at 50 years old. This predictive things. You came here to be very much in love with your journey. You wanted to experience this journey. So this is just a way to navigate the journey. In the description box below, I have a link, a PDF file on the testimonials of all those people who have come into Soul Alignment course. This is not to show you and tell you how great the course is. In the testimonials, you can read what they have discovered about themselves and how they have transformed themselves by understanding their own energies. So that is how transformative it is when you start understanding your own power. This is just one of the methods. There's so many other ways you can do that. Go to a therapy, talk to a friend. There's a lot of ways you can understand who you are, but go back to the drawing board. So find out who you are, because தன்னை அறிந்தவன் அனைத்தும் அறிவான்.